Hey, Cloud Gurus. Smart home assistants, like this Google Home device, provide hands-free access to AI agents. When you see you're running low on, say, coffee, you can just speak the command to update your grocery list. Hey Google, add coffee to my shopping list.
Okay, I added coffee.
Have you ever wanted to track your household routines, but don't have the patience to open a spreadsheet app or some other journal? Let's extend our smart home assistant using Google Dialogflow to log routines using voice commands. In this project, we'll build a conversational agent and hook it up to a serverless backend for application logic. Without further ado, let's get started. To create our conversational agent, first go to the DialogFlow.com homepage and click on Console. If it's your first time, you'll need a few clicks to authorize your Google account to use Dialogflow. My console currently shows the simple response sample agent that I imported previously. Click the drop-down menu and select Create New Agent. First, let's give the agent a name. I picked Prototype Routine Bot in a real moment of creativity. I kept English as the default language, and I set the time zone to where I live, LA, aka USA Pacific time. Next, you need to decide whether to create a new Google project or use an existing one. This is basically an administrative question. Projects group together resources and configuration, so using an existing project lets you inherit things like permission and billing. But chances are, especially for a prototype, you want a new project. This isolation makes it easy to discard the agent later, just delete the project. This keeps your Google workspace tidy and therefore easier to navigate, and furthermore, you won't incur unexpected costs. Let's go ahead and create the agent. It takes just a moment to get ready, and then we'll be able to work on adding conversation. Okay, our agent is ready and we can start setting up intents. Now we have a default Dialogflow agent. Agents respond to user intents. Your agent comes with two default intents, a welcome intent, which basically says hi, it gets invoked when users begin speaking with your agent, and then you have the fallback intent, which gets invoked when the agent doesn't know how to respond to user input. It basically says, what? So you can see this live by going to this try it now box up here, and you can type in hello. You get the agent's response, which comes from the welcome intent. Dialogflow also tells you which intent got matched. You can also add in some gibberish and see what happens. In this case, the agent doesn't understand what we're saying, so it asks us to say it again, and it tells us that the fallback intent got matched. This is a pretty cool feature for developing your intents, so definitely feel free to make use of it. Now let's create the actual brain for our robot, a so-called regular intent for users to log in events. So let's click Create Intent and give it a name, like log routine. Now, intents can have contexts so that your agent can have stateful conversations. That is to say, some intents would only match in certain contexts. Our prototype doesn't implement any contextual logic, so let's skip this section for now. By the way, can you foresee any circumstances where the agent might need further user input before taking action? Something to think about for later. Same with events. Agents can be configured to respond to events generated on other platforms, like Slack integrations, for instance. For now, we'll only respond to spoken phrases, so let's skip the event section as well. Next, let's add training phrases, which are where the AI magic happens. Training phrases let Dialogflow apply natural language machine learning algorithms to understand the user's input. We can furthermore parameterize training phrases, kind of like grammatical sentence diagramming, to teach Dialogflow how to extract key concepts from phrases such as dates, colors, shopping list items, or household routines. For our bot, our interaction pattern is straightforward. I verbed the noun. In fact, the verb doesn't really even matter. The noun is the key concept that we're tracking. From these two phrases here, the agent would know to recognize I cleaned the bath mats or I washed the cat box, even though neither one of those was a given training phrase. By the way, it's interesting to note that cleaning versus washing the cat box might actually imply pretty different semantic meaning to a human than to our artificially intelligent agent. Back to Dialogflow, let's add a few training phrases. So I cleaned the cat box. or I washed the bath mats, or I mopped the kitchen floor, and lastly, let's say that I took out the trash. Now, key concepts map to what DialogFlow calls entities. You can define your own or use existing ones like dates, times, colors, or a generic placeholder called any. For now, we'll use the placeholder to identify routine nouns. To define the entity in a training phrase, highlight the text in the editor by double-clicking it and select the system.any entity. Let's rename the parameter from any to routine. This is basically the variable name that gets used when we process the response later. Let's go ahead and do that for every one of our training phrases. Let's add kitchen floor. Let's reuse our routine entity. Let's set up the bath mats, again reusing it, and lastly let's set up cat box. Now at this point our agent can understand these phrases but doesn't actually say anything back, so it's not particularly useful. So now let's go ahead and define those responses. Let's close the training phrases. We'll skip the actions and parameters for now. Let's go ahead and add a response. So we can say something like, okay, I got it. Now this isn't really useful because it's not telling the user what we actually got. So let's replace I got it with $routine, which means insert whatever the routine parameter was in the agent's response. Let's add another one like, okay, I got it, routine. Or perhaps lastly, yay, routine. Now at this point, let's save our agent. And our agent should be able to actually speak with the user in response to these prompts. So let's try it out. Let's say I cleaned the cat box, and our response was invoked. Okay, I got it, cat box. Note that again, the intent selected was log routine, which is the one we've been working on. If we try it again, like I washed the cat box, we got a different response this time, but the same intent was still logged. So now we have an agent that can actually take input from the user, process it, and respond by giving feedback about what the agent understood. And there we go. We finished the first prototype for our smart home agent. Google provides a really nifty testing mechanism where you can talk to your agent through any device that you have logged into your Google account. Let's go ahead and speak with it. Hey Google, talk to my test app. It's loading it up now.
Okay, getting the test version of my test app.
Now it's going to say hi.
Hello, how can I help you?
I took out the trash.
Nice trash.
Alright, it's alive. Okay, that's a wrap. Keep being awesome. I'll see you next time.